The night unfolds like velvet across the principality, and with it comes a world that glimmers between dream and desire. Monaco awakens beneath a constellation of golden lights, each one a promise whispered to the darkness. Each reflection a secret shared only with those who dare to wander these streets after dusk. The air hums with possibility, thick and warm, carrying with it the scent of jasmine mingling with something more intoxicating, the perfume of wealth, of elegance, of lives lived without compromise. This is not merely a city. This is a stage where every footstep becomes part of a silent symphony, where the night itself seems to hold its breath in reverence to beauty and power walking hand in hand beneath the Mediterranean stars. The cobblestones gleam as though polished by moonlight and ambition. Each stone has felt the touch of designer heels, the confident stride of those who have learned that presence is not demanded but simply radiated from within. The architecture rises around us, pale and pristine, catching the light from 1,000 sources, street lamps that glow like captured fireflies, windows that spill warmth into the evening, facades that transform into canvases painted with shadows and gold. There is music here, though you might not hear it at first. It lives in the soft click of footsteps, the distant murmur of conversation floating from terraces above, the gentle rustle of silk and linen moving through the breeze that travels up from the harbor. Carrying salt and stories in equal measure, a woman passes, and for a moment the world seems to tilt on its axis. She moves with the kind of grace that cannot be taught, only inhabited. Her dress catches the light like liquid mercury, flowing with each step as though choreographed by an invisible maestro. Her hair, dark or golden or somewhere beautifully between, shifts softly against shoulders that carry confidence as naturally as skin carries warmth. There is no hurry in her movement, no uncertainty in her gaze. She knows, as all who walk these streets at night seem to know, that she belongs to this moment, as surely as the stars belong to the sky. Her presence is not an announcement, but a revelation, unfolding with each measured step across the gleaming pavement. The jewelry at her throat catches fragments of light and throws them back into the night. Tiny rebellions against the darkness, declarations of refinement and taste that need no words. The engines purr rather than roar because true power has never needed to shout. A convertible glides past. Its lines so perfect they seem drawn by desire itself rather than design. The paint reflects the city back to itself, a mirror on wheels, capturing golden light and multiplying it across every curve and angle. Inside, a profile cut from confidence and success, hand resting casually on leather that cost more than most people's dreams. The car moves like water through the streets, fluid and inevitable. Its presence felt more than heard. A whisper of engineering excellence and the kind of wealth that manifests in restraint rather than ostentation. Another follows, this one low and silver, its headlights cutting through the warm night like twin searchlights seeking beauty. These machines are more than transportation here. They are companions to the night, extensions of the same elegant energy that pulses through everything Monaco touches. A couple stands before a boutique window, their silhouettes framed by the glow from within. The glass showcases treasures that most will only glimpse in passing. A watch that measures time in precious metals. A handbag that represents not just craftsmanship but legacy. A gown that promises transformation. But these two are not window shopping in the traditional sense. They are considering, evaluating, moving through a world where desire and acquisition live, separated only by a moment's decision. He stands with one hand in his pocket, his suit fitting him the way confidence fits the successful, perfectly, inevitably. She leans slightly into the light, her face illuminated not just by the boutique's glow, but by something deeper. An inner radiance that comes from knowing one's own worth and seeing it reflected everywhere in this city of mirrors and light. The laughter that drifts from somewhere above is like champagne bubbles released into the atmosphere. It floats down from a terrace we cannot see, mingling with the music that follows it, something smooth and contemporary, bass notes that pulse gently like a sophisticated heartbeat. There are gatherings happening behind these elegant facades. Intimate celebrations where the fortunate few toast to successes already achieved and victories yet to come. But even those sounds reach us softened, filtered through discretion, and that particular Monaco magic that keeps the extraordinary just slightly out of reach. Eternally aspirational even when you stand at its very heart. Tell me in the comments which dream city you love to explore at night. Which streets you long to walk when the world transforms beneath the moon's watchful gaze. Another woman emerges from a restaurant, and the maitre d' holds the door as though she were royalty. Perhaps she is, in the ways that matter here. Her stride is unhurried but purposeful, her heels creating a rhythm against the pavement that speaks of destinations both literal and metaphorical. There is something hypnotic in watching people move through these streets, each one writing their own story into the night, each one adding their personal verse to Monaco's endless poem of elegance and aspiration. She adjusts the shawl across her shoulders with one fluid motion, fingers glittering with rings that catch every light source they encounter, turning her hands into constellations. A phone appears, rose gold or platinum, and she pauses beneath a streetlight to compose a message or perhaps capture this moment, preserving the feeling of the night for those who exist outside this golden bubble. The shops never truly sleep here. Their windows glow like promises, each one curated with the kind of attention to detail that transforms retail into art. Inside one, a necklace rests against black velvet, its diamonds arranged in patterns that seem to breathe with their own light. Inside another, shoes line up like soldiers of style, each pair a masterpiece of leather and vision. These are not stores but temples to beauty and craftsmanship, and those who enter them do so with the reverence of pilgrims seeking transformation. But even from the outside, walking past these illuminated altars to luxury, one feels the pull, the seductive whisper that says anything is possible in a place like this, that the boundaries between dream and reality grow beautifully blurred when the sun surrenders to the moon. A group of friends moves together down the street, their conversation animated but never loud, their energy contained within that bubble of sophistication that seems to surround everyone here. The men wear their success like well-tailored armor-crisp shirts open at the collar, watches that could fund small nations resting casually on wrists, shoes polished to such perfection they mirror the sky. The women among them match this energy note for note, their style effortless yet obviously considered. Their laughter genuine but never excessive. They move as a constellation, individual stars, bound by shared orbit, heading towards some destination known only to them, leaving in their wake the scent of expensive cologne and the impression of lives lived in full color. Subscribe to experience more nights of elegance and luxury around the world, to walk with me through cities where beauty and wealth create symphonies in the darkness. The harbor lies somewhere near, though we cannot see it from here. But we feel its presence in the air, taste the salt that seasons the breeze, sense the proximity of water, and the yachts that float upon it like floating palaces. Those vessels represent another dimension of Monaco's magic, the ability to exist in multiple elements, to claim mastery over land and sea, to transform the Mediterranean itself into a private lake for those with vision enough to see possibility in every direction. Even without viewing them, we know they are there. Lit up like birthday cakes for billionaires, each one a statement of arrival written in fiberglass and ambition. The pavement beneath our feet is impeccable, as though the city employs artists rather than workers to maintain its services. Not a crack, not a blemish interrupts the flow of the walkways. Palm trees stand sentinel at intervals, their fronds swaying in the warm breeze, adding a touch of the exotic to what is already extraordinary. They cast shadows that dance across the ground, organic interruptions to the geometric precision of the urban landscape. Reminders that nature, too, has been invited to this party and has arrived dressed in its finest. A man leans against a sports car, checking his phone with the casual confidence of someone for whom such machines are merely tools. The car behind him is a work of art. Italian probably, judging by the passionate curves of its body. The way it seems to crouch even while still ready to leap forward at the slightest provocation. But he seems almost unaware of it, as though, surrounded by such machines, his entire life has rendered them invisible through familiarity. This is the ultimate luxury perhaps, not ownership itself, but the casual relationship with it. The way the truly wealthy treat their possessions as companions rather than achievements. Two women stand together near a fountain, their heads tilted toward each other in that intimate posture of shared secrets. One touches the other's arm as she speaks, her bracelet sliding down her wrist. Diamonds catching light and multiplying it. Their dresses are different but equally stunning. One in deep emerald that seems to drink the night itself, another in champagne silk that glows as though lit from within. They could be sisters or friends or business partners or all three. In Monaco, roles blend and overlap, titles become fluid. And what matters is not what you do, but how you inhabit each moment, how you add your light to the collective brilliance. The music changes as we move, different venues contributing different notes to the night's composition. Somewhere jazz piano trickles into the street, sophisticated and timeless. From another direction comes something more contemporary. Electronic pulses wrapped in melody, the sound of now rather than then. But none of it conflicts. Instead, it layers, creating a soundtrack that feels curated by the city itself, an ambient accompaniment to the visual feast unfolding with every step. A valet brings a car to the curb, and its owner approaches, a woman whose age exists somewhere between elegant maturity and timeless beauty. She accepts the keys with a smile that suggests generous tipping is about to occur, then slides behind the wheel with practiced ease. The car door closes with that particular sound that expensive vehicles make, a solid thunk that speaks of engineering excellence and materials assembled with obsessive attention to detail. She adjusts the rearview mirror, and in that moment, we glimpse her face fully beautiful, not because of youth, but because of the confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are and requiring no external validation. Then she is gone, taillights fading into the night, carrying her toward whatever comes next in a life that clearly contains multitudes. Leave a like if you can feel the magic and beauty of this city through the night. If these words and these streets speak to something inside you that yearns for elegance and dreams, illuminated by golden light. The breeze strengthens for a moment, and we feel the full force of the Mediterranean's embrace. It carries with it more than salt now. There's perfume too, expensive fragrance that trail behind women like invisible scarves, cologne that announces presence before the man wearing it rounds the corner. There's the smell of fine leather from the interiors of cars, with their windows down, the scent of flowers from planters that line the streets, the aroma of cuisine drifting from restaurants where meals cost more than some people earn in a week. All of it combines into something uniquely Monaco, an olfactory signature that brands this experience into memory. A younger couple walks hand in hand, and there's something touching about the way they look at each other despite the distractions surrounding them. They're dressed beautifully, he in a blazer that fits like it was born on his shoulders, she in a dress that manages to be both modest and breathtaking, but they seem almost unaware of the spectacle around them, lost in their private world of new love or renewed connection. They pause at a corner and he leans in to whisper something that makes her laugh, the sound bright and genuine, cutting through the sophisticated murmur like a bell. For a moment, they remind us that beneath all this luxury and elegance, Monaco remains a place where human connection flourishes, where love and friendship and all the timeless emotions exist, draped in beautiful circumstances, but fundamentally unchanged. The buildings seem taller at night, or perhaps it's just that the darkness erases their tops, making them stretch upward forever into a sky that glows purple and gold from the reflected light of the city below. Balconies jut out at intervals, some empty, some occupied by figures that move behind railings, living their elevated lives in both literal and metaphorical senses. Lights glow from windows in patterns that suggest life happening on multiple levels simultaneously. Dinners being served, conversations being had, love being made, business being conducted, all of it occurring within vertical proximity but worlds apart in privacy and purpose. Another supercar approaches, this one red like arterial blood or passion distilled into metal and carbon fiber. Its engine note is different from the others, higher, more insistent, a sound that turns heads even in a place where exotic machines are commonplace. The driver is visible through the low windshield, another man in the prime of life. Or perhaps beyond prime and into that ageless zone where wealth and fitness create their own reality. He doesn't race through the streets, but rather flows with the traffic, moving at the speed of confidence, proving nothing to no one, because everything has already been proven. A woman exits a jewelry store, and even from a distance, we can see the small bag she carries. That particular shade of blue or red or whatever color indicates that behind those walls, transactions just occurred that could fund entire families for years. But she holds it casually, hooked over one finger, swinging it gently as she walks, her other hand occupied with her phone. Her dress is white or cream, risky in a city of aperitifs and close quarters. But she wears it with the confidence of someone who has learned to move through the world without apology or caution. Her heels echo against the pavement, each step a small declaration of arrival. The night deepens but never darkens. Not really. Monaco seems to have made some bargain with the darkness, agreeing to acknowledge its existence while refusing to submit to it. Instead, the city glows more intensely as true darkness tries to fall. As though determined to prove that here, night is not an ending but a transformation, not a diminishment but an elevation into something more magical than day could ever achieve. A taxi glides past, and even it seems elevated here. Cleaner and more elegant than such vehicles appear in other cities. Inside, passengers lean back against seats, heading toward or away from their own Monaco moments. their own encounters with this strange and beautiful place where dreams wear designer labels and possibilities arrive in every color, including gold. The street we walk along curves gently, revealing new vistas with each step. This is part of Monaco's gift, the way it unfolds rather than simply existing, the way each turn promises discovery. Each corner conceals wonders waiting to be revealed. The city has been designed not just for efficiency, but for experience, laid out by people who understood that the journey matters as much as the destination, that beauty should be a constant companion rather than an occasional surprise. Two men stand outside what might be a club or a private venue, their body language suggesting they are security, but their presentation suggesting they could just as easily be guests. They wear black suits that fit perfectly, earpieces that connect them to some larger network of awareness, and expressions that remain professionally neutral while missing nothing. They nod at someone approaching, and the door opens to reveal a glimpse of interior gold and shadow before closing again. Keeping its secrets, maintaining the boundary between public Monaco and private Monaco, between the stage and the backstage, a woman adjusts her necklace as she walks, fingers unconsciously ensuring it sits perfectly against her collarbone. The gesture is both practical and deeply human, a reminder that even in this place of seeming perfection, we all carry our small anxieties and adjustments, our tiny negotiations with the world around us. But she does it gracefully, incorporating even this minor fidget into her overall presentation of elegance and control. The fountain we pass is lit from within, water transformed into liquid light as it arcs and falls and arcs again. People have thrown coins into its base, making wishes in a place where many wishes have already come true. The water sounds like applause, a gentle acknowledgement of each dream deposited into its depths, each hope cast into its currents. A limousine stretches along the curb, black and gleaming, its windows tinted to preserve mysteries. We cannot see who rides within, but we can imagine celebrities or dignitaries, business titans or inherited wealth, people for whom Monaco is not an aspiration but a second home, or a third or fourth. The driver stands nearby, patient and professional, waiting for passengers who are probably inside some establishment making memories or deals or both. Tell me what feeling captures you most as you walk these streets with me, what emotion rises in your chest when you witness this world of refined beauty and limitless possibility. The bridges and overpasses that occasionally appear speak to Monaco's vertical nature. Its refusal to be constrained by flat geography. They connect different levels of the city, creating layers of experience, allowing movement that defies simple description. We cross one now, and from this height, the lights multiply, spreading out in every direction like a civilization of fireflies, each one marking a life in progress, a story being written in real time. A group exits a restaurant, and the door held open releases a blast of warmth, and the sound of pleasure clinking glasses and animated conversation and laughter that speaks of excellent food and better company. They spill onto the sidewalk, still laughing, still caught in the spell of the evening they've shared. They're all dressed impeccably, all moving with that particular looseness that comes from fine wine and finer company. They embrace, kiss cheeks, make plans for tomorrow, or next week, or next month, then scatter in different directions, each heading toward whatever comes next in lives that clearly contain much. The stars are difficult to see through the urban glow, but occasionally one breaks through, reminding us that above all this human-created brilliance, the universe continues its ancient patterns, unimpressed and eternal. Those stars look down on Monaco as they look down on everywhere. But perhaps even they must admit that, from their distant perspective, this little principality glitters with unusual intensity. A bright spot on the planet's night side, visible perhaps from space as something special. Something set apart. A woman sits alone at an outdoor cafe table, and there's something magnetic about her solitude. She's not waiting for anyone, not scrolling anxiously through her phone, just sitting and observing. Drinking something clear and cold, watching the parade of beauty and wealth move past her with the calm attention of someone who belongs to this world so completely that she needn't participate in its performance. Her legs are crossed, her posture perfect, and the light from the candle on her table makes her skin glow as though lit from within. The shop windows reflect everything back, doubled. The cars moving past become two. The pedestrians multiply, the lights intensify. Monaco seems to exist in reflection as much as in reality, creating a hall of mirrors where wealth and beauty echo endlessly, where what is and what appears to be become impossible to separate. We walk through both simultaneously, the real city and its reflected ghost, both equally seductive, both equally impossible to fully possess. A father and daughter walk together, and the contrast is striking, his gray hair and distinguished bearing beside her young beauty and emerging confidence. He gestures as he speaks, clearly explaining something important, and she listens with the kind of attention that speaks of deep respect and love. They're dressed in complementary elegance, his suit speaking to established success, her dress suggesting inherited taste and emerging style. They stop at a window displaying watches, and he points to one, perhaps explaining its complications or its history, or simply admiring its craftsmanship. This too is Monaco, the passing of knowledge and appreciation from one generation to the next. The way elegance becomes legacy, the manner in which this lifestyle perpetuates itself through teaching and example. The night air grows slightly cooler, but it's a pleasant coolness, refreshing rather than cold. The Mediterranean's gift to those who wander its shores after dark. It carries away the day's heat and replaces it with something more mysterious, more conducive to romance and possibility. People seem to move slightly closer together as the temperature drops, conversations become slightly more intimate, and the city's energy shifts from the visual to the tactile, from what we see to what we feel. Another engine note joins the symphony, deeper this time, more primal, the sound of displacement and power barely contained. The car that follows is matte black, absorbing light rather than reflecting it, moving through the street like a shadow given substance and speed. It's dramatic and slightly dangerous, a reminder that even in this controlled environment, there's room for edge, for personality, for individual expression that doesn't conform to the golden standard. A woman checks her reflection in a shop window, turning slightly to ensure the back of her dress drapes correctly, that her hair falls as intended, that the image she presents matches the image she carries inside. Satisfied, she continues, her small smile suggesting approval, her stride lengthening slightly as confidence renews itself. Subscribe and join me as we continue exploring the world's most magical cities after dark. When the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary and every street becomes a stage for human beauty and achievement. The sidewalks are never empty here, not really, not fully. There's always someone moving, always another silhouette approaching or receding, always the sense of participation in something ongoing and endless. Monaco's night has no true beginning or ending, but exists as a continuum, a flowing stream of elegance that we can step into at any moment and allow to carry us forward.